Hello, everybody. This is Yang Family Tai Chi Traditional Form, Section 1. And today's move is going to be raised hands. But I want to do a little more review on single whip in addition. Okay? So let's warm up by doing the form through single whip. So I'm going to turn around. Excuse me. Okay. Feet shoulders width apart. Head up, tailbone down, hands by your side. Prepare. Opening. Rotate your arms so the palms are facing back. Come up to shoulder level and press down almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off left. Shift left, turn right, all the weight on the right. Step and close, turn and separate. Ward off right, shift right, turn the left toe to the corner, pull left, ward off down right, all the weights on the left. Pull in, step and close, shift weight and separate. Roll back. Rotate your arms as you reach to the corner. Circle back as you shift weight and move to the other corner. Press. Circle in the right. Attach the left. Expand forward. Push. Square up your shoulders. Flatten your hands. Come back over a ball. Hands in front of your chest. And push to shoulder level. Single whip. Shift back as you flatten your hands. Turn and pull all the way around. Push down. Ward off with the left. Hook hand with the right. Standing ward off. Step, deflect, and strike. Okay, how did that feel? Good. Okay, the things I'd like to remind you of is when you're, now I'll do the stretch. Your push, when you come back, your hands stay parallel until you start to turn. When you start turning, the left leads and the right follows. Okay, so you're not going like this. Okay, you are going like this all the way around. Then when you come to the end and your weight starts going to the back, you release the front. Okay, and why do you do that? It helps you align your body. So when I'm here, I flatten. I turn and pull. I push down. So this was at shoulder level. Now I'm at chest height. When I start moving back, I release the front foot so that my hips don't feel all scrunched up. They can be loosened to face the corner direction. You see what I'm saying? Then when I make the ward off with the left and the hook hand with the right, you can see this ward off is right in front of me. I'm guarding my chest. And this is at neck height because I'm hitting somebody in the neck, right? So the height of the hands is different. Then I pull in the foot before I step out. When I step out, the same time, I had this standing ward off, deflect and strike. So if I'm doing it in your direction, if I were here and I come around, then I'm going to pull in the left foot, step and diagonal ward off. As I flatten my foot, I deflect, and then I shift weight and strike. So I'm looking through my tiger's mouth when I strike. You probably can't tell with the camera angle. Do again with better camera angle. Here, come back, turn, press down, release the front foot. Ward off left, hook hand right, pull in, standing ward off, deflect, strike. Okay? So I just wanted you to coordinate the top and the bottom so that the energy flows correctly. Okay? You want your feet to be at a certain position when your hands are at a certain position so that you can transfer energy. All right, so let me do it one more time, and I'm going to do it in this direction. So I'm going to push. Then I'm going to move my weight back and flatten my hands. What am I doing? I'm moving my weight back so that I can release the weight off my front foot. Then, as I turn and pull, I'm turning on the heel of the right foot. Then I come back, release the front foot, press down, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right, standing ward off step, deflect, and strike. And when I strike, my torso is straight up and down. Okay, so instead of turning this way, what happens is, in order to be straight up and down, I am pulling in my hip. And what that does is it opens me a little bit more toward the corner. Okay. Yes? Okay. So I'm going to do it one more time in the standard direction and one more time 180 degrees. Okay? So in the standard direction, if you started facing that way. So I'm at push. Then I come back, release the front foot, flatten the hands. Turn and pull. Release the front, push down, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right, standing ward off step, deflect, and strike. And in this direction, push, release the front foot, flatten the hands, turn and pull, press down, release the front foot, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right, pull in, standing ward off, deflect, strike. Yes? Okay. Now, the next move is raise hands and step forward. And raise hands and step forward is our first empty stance. Up to this point, we've only done bow stances. And a bow stance, as a reminder, is when you are shoulders width apart, your back foot is 45 degrees and your front foot is straight forward. So you have one straight and one 45. So your weight distribution for the bow stance is 60 in the front and 40 in the back. So what's the difference between a bow stance and an empty stance? The foot position is actually the same angles. The difference is the distance between. So here, I am shoulders width apart, right? And then I step forward. An empty stance, the back foot is still 45 degrees, but it's closer together. Can you see it's one line, two sides? So the heel is like I drew a line there. I'm not cross, right? But I am much closer than this, right? I'm here. And there are two kinds of empty stances. The one we're doing today is going to be a heel touch. The other one is going to be a ball touch, which will be the next movement. Okay, so the heel touch. So the first thing I want to emphasize is that the stride length is the same. Okay, remember when I told you when you made a bow stance, if you were feet shoulders width apart and you turned one foot 45 degrees and you move the other foot forward, how far can you go forward? Has to do with how low you can bend your back foot. So if I'm standing more upright, then my stride length is shorter. If I can really bend down, then I can have a longer stride length. Can you see that? So lower, longer. Higher, shorter. Okay, so don't try to, everybody would like to have a lower stance because it looks nicer and so on. But what happens is if you cannot be low enough, you are not allowed to have that longer stride length. Why? Because your stride length has to be such that you can come back. So if I'm this height and this is my stride length, why is that my stride length? Because I can come back, right? No problem. I can still be stable and come back, right? If I am at this level and I try to make a longer stride length, I can't come back unless I push off. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have the ability to come back to a stable position. So it's very important that you maintain your stability, which is why Tai Chi is so good for your balance, right? If you can always be stable, then your balance would be better. So when you do a bow stance, the rule has to do with how far you can squat, essentially. Okay, if you can squat lower, you can have a longer stance. The same is true of your empty stance. Your empty stance is determined in the stride length is determined the same way. So the only difference really is, well, there are three differences. One is the width between the feet. Okay, so bow stance, you have shoulder width apart. Empty stance, you have this one line, two sides. Not like this, but like this, okay? That's the first difference. The second difference is the weight distribution, okay? When you were with a bow stance, you had 60% in the front and 40% in the back. But when you're in an empty stance, regardless of whether you have a ball touch or a heel touch, once you have an empty stance, you have 70% in the back and only 30% in the front. But you must have that 30%. Okay. It's very important. It's not empty, really. It still has that 30% in the front. Okay. So, and your lean is slightly different. So, if I am doing a bow stance, and I come forward, I have 60% in the front and 40% in the back. And you can see, unless I'm doing like single whip, I have a lean from the heel to the base of my neck, right? With an empty stance, you don't have the majority of your weight in the front. You have the majority of the weight in the back, right? And you're going to have closer together. So it's going to be over here. So what happens? In order to keep your torso between your feet, you're going to have a lean that begins from your hips up to here. Instead of this lean, you're going to have this lean. Can you see that? But there still is a little lean. Okay. So that's the third difference, that your body configuration is somewhat different. The other thing that's different is between the two empty stances. So when you have a heel touch empty stance, you are faced more toward the corner. When you have a ball touch, generally you're facing more toward the front. To give you an example, today's move is going to be raise hands and step forward. I'm going to show you the end position. The end position is that you have an empty stance, heel touch, and this is your end position. So you can see my hands are in the center. In other words, if you look at a line on my nose, from my nose, my hands are on that line, and my shoulders are kind of toward the side, toward the corner, right? If I were to do a ball touch empty stance, like white crane, which would be next time's move, it would look like this. And the difference is I am touching on the ball of my foot, and my stance is more square. The other one was more this way. This one is more this way. Can you see the difference? So generally speaking, there are always exceptions, but generally speaking, ball touch is more square. Heel touch is more toward the corner. Okay. So the heel touch feels more rooted. I can only describe the feeling, but it feels more rooted. And I think it's because of the geometry. When you're doing a heel touch, the whole ball of your foot is on the ground. Okay. So if you think of how your bones are connected, okay, you have your thigh bone, your shin bone, and then your heel. And then you're on the ground, right? With the ball touch, there are more bones in between. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you have all those phalanges and so on, and it does not feel as solid as the heel touch. The heel touch feels more solid. And very often the heel touch is used for, as in raise hands, in combination with a waist movement that's horizontal. And then you're depending on the energy coming from your heel through your hands and giving you that strike. So that's a little difference between the heel and the ball touch. But let's talk about, how do you do raise hands and step forward? I'm going to do it in the same direction as you first, so that you can see what it looks like. And from single whip, it looks like this. So if I were to do it in your direction, I mean facing you, it looked like this. So you're in single whip. Okay. So what are the things that are important? When you're doing the footwork, if you were in bow stance, what you're going to do is you're going to shift your weight back to release this foot, and you're going to turn it to 45 degrees. So now your feet are parallel. Then you're going to push off the ball of the front foot and then place it so that the heel is one line, two sides. And then you're going to put 30% in the front. So if you're looking at it from your direction, you are in a bow stance. You're going to shift your weight back to release this foot. Turn it. Your feet are parallel toward the corner. You shift your weight back to this foot. You push off the ball of this foot to shift your weight back. Then you come in and you put your heel out. Then you shift 30% on to the heel of the front foot. Okay, should we do that again? So you have bow stance in that direction. Release this foot. Pivot on the heel so that your feet are parallel toward the corner. Push off the ball of the right foot so that your weight goes to the left. Pull in the right. Establish the heel. And 30% goes in the front. Okay? Couple more times. Bow stance. Shift weight slightly. Pivot on the heel to the corner. Push off the ball of the right. All the weight is on the left. Pull in. Root 30%. So it's very important you establish your root and then you transfer the weight. Don't try to move and transfer weight at the same time. Okay, you're much more stable so from this direction, if I push off, I pull in, I establish my root, and then I push the 30% in. Okay, I want to be stable first before I move that weight. Okay, and as a general principle, that is a good idea because you don't want to transfer your weight on the fly if you can avoid it. Okay, so if I were to do it facing you, I'm at bow stance, I am turning, I am pushing off, pulling in, establishing, transferring. And let's see if I do it, let's say I do it from this direction. So I'm in bow stance. I'm shifting back. I turn to the corner. I push off, pull in, root, shift weight. Okay. Now you see I am not as far forward. I am more vertical because I'm only shifting 30%. The sign that you're shifting too much weight is if you're further forward. If you're further forward, that tells me that you have too much weight in the front. Okay, so that's your clue that you're in the wrong position. So if I were here, I'm in bow stance, shift back, turn to the corner, push off the ball of the right, pull in, root, transfer weight. Yeah? Okay. Now, the other thing is that the other sign as to whether you're transferring too much weight is how much bend do you have on your front foot? In other words, when I have a bow stance, I am bending my knee, not beyond my toe, but pretty much, right? If I am doing an empty stance, my leg is straighter because my weight is further back. Okay, so that's the other sign. If your torso is bent too far, your weight is too far forward. If your knee is bent too much, your weight is too far forward. So that's how you tell. Okay? So now let's look at the hands. We're going to do a little exercise. What we're going to do is we're going to circle. Make 2 circles. And that's the feeling you're going to get when you do this move. Because what's going to happen is when you're at single width and you move, you're going to release this and you're going to circle and come to the middle. So you have the circling feeling. And the circling feeling also comes toward the back. In other words, here. Can you see there's a forward and back aspect to this in addition to this arm movement? It's not just the arms. So let me show you again. So when I release this, so you have this. So it's out and in, but also back and forward. So it's like a combination move. Okay, so let me show it to you from all four directions. Okay, so here, I'm going to come back and close. I'm going to come back and close. So I root first and then I close. When I close, what happens is when I'm here and I release this hand, I start moving back. When do I start moving back? When I push back with the front foot. I'm pushing off the ball of the front foot. I'm coming back and then root and then 30%. Okay, so what I'm doing here is it's like I'm breaking somebody's arm. Okay, I'm coming together like this. And in order to have that energy, you have a slight waist turn, okay, and you're pushing down into the ground. You have that 30%. So the combination of your waist turn and the pushing down of 30% is what generates the energy. Okay. So one more time this way. Pushing off. So here, if you notice at single width, this one is coming out from shoulder level. This one is hitting at the neck level. Okay, so the right is a little higher than the left to begin with. Then when I shift my weight back and turn, I push off the right, release the hook hand. My right hand is still a little higher than my left. Can you see that? I come back. So my right hand always stays higher than the left. Okay, if you look, this is facing the middle of my right forearm. Okay, and my hands are in the center where my nose is. So basically, you're, Nancy describes it as you're clapping and missing. So it's like you're trying to clap, but you miss. But you end up in the center. Okay, don't cross, just clap and miss in the center. Okay. So you have to get the circling. It looks deceptively easy, but actually there's a lot of timing to it because you have to get your circling and your feet at the same time. So if I do it from the side, you can see I'm pushing off the right, releasing, circling, rooting, 30%. Okay. And the shape of my hands is the palms are slightly down. They're not flat. They're slightly facing toward each other. Okay. because it's like you're breaking something. So you're grasping. So that's why you have this shape as opposed to either this shape or this shape. You don't want to be vertical. You have to slightly turned in so that you show holding. Okay. So in the direction you would be doing it in, it looks like this. Shift back, turn. So hands haven't moved yet, right? When I push off the right foot, then I release and start moving. So there are a lot of things you have to watch out for so that you get the maximum energy. So if you think of the 10 essentials, remember you were supposed to round the back and concave the chest. So here, what I don't want you to do is this. I don't want you to come out and stick your chest out. Because when you do that, then you block the energy from your spine to your hands. Okay, this rounded shape allows the energy from your feet that's coming through your spine to get to your fingers. Once you do this, you block it off. So that's why when I come back, can you see my hands are still in front of my body. I'm not here. They're still in front of my body, even though I'm going back. And then close. Okay, so don't lean back. Don't open up your chest. You know, you want to stay rounded shape, close. Okay, so all your forward and back movement is from your legs. Okay, it's not from your arms. Okay, so here, can you see? My body shape still retains that hugger tree shape because I'm moving back and forth with my leg. And that is the trick. Okay, so what looks like a big circular movement back and forth, yes, the arms move, but the back and forth comes from your legs. Okay? All that talking, let's practice. Unless you have questions. Do you have questions? No? Okay. I'll do it the same direction as you. Single whip. Shift right. Turn the left foot to the corner. Push off the right ball. Release the hook hand. Circle back. Root and close. Once again. Single whip. Shift right. Turn the left foot to the corner. Release the hook hand as you push off the ball of the right. Circle. Root. Close. This way. Single whip. Shift back. Turn the left foot to the corner. Push off the right ball. Release the hook hand. Circle. Root. Close. this way. Single wick. Shift right. Turn the left foot to the corner. Push off the right ball. Circle. Root. Close. Single wick. Shift right. Pivot the left heel to the corner. Push off the ball of the right. Circle. Root and close. And back to where we started from. Single whip. Shift right. Pivot the left heel to the corner. Push off the ball of the right. Circle. Root and close. Okay, how does that feel? Okay, so practice. Let's do it from the beginning, okay? So, feet shoulder width apart, head up, tailbone down, hands by your side, prepare. Opening, rotate your arms and lift them up to shoulder level. Press down, almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off left. Shift left. Turn right. All the weight on the right. Step and close. Shift weight, turn. Ward off right. Shift right. Turn the left toe to the corner. Pull left, ward off down right. All the weight on the left. Pull in, step and close, shift weight and separate. Roll back. Rotate your arms as you reach to the corner. Circle back as your weight shifts back and you go to the other corner. Press. Circle in the right. Attach the left. Expand forward. Push. Square up your shoulders. Flatten your hands. Come back over a ball. Hands in front of your chest. Push up to shoulder level. Single whip. Shift back and flatten your hands. Turn and pull all the way around. Press down. Ward off with the left. Hook hand with the right. Standing ward off. Step. Deflect and strike. Raise hands and step forward. Shift right. Pivot on the left toe, left heel to the corner. Push off the ball of the right. Circle. Root and close. Okay? One more time, and then we'll close class. Okay. Prepare. Head up, tailbone down. Opening. Rotate your arms. Come up to shoulder level and press down almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off left. Shift left. Turn right. All the weight on the right. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. Ward off right. Shift right. Turn the left toe to the corner. Pull left, ward off down right. Pull in. Step and close. Shift weight and separate. Roll back. Rotate your arms and reach to the corner. Circle back as your weight comes back. press, circle in the right, attach the left, expand forward, push, square up your shoulders, flatten your hands, come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest, push up to shoulder level, single whip, shift back, flatten your hands, turn and pull all the way around, press down, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right, standing ward off, step, deflect, strike, raise hands and step forward, shift to the right, turn on the heel of the left foot, push off the ball of the right as you circle your arms, root and close. Okay? Questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming to class. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Okay?
Have a good 4th of July.
Thank you, and the same to you.
Yep. So practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice is right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Lauren.
Thank you.
Bye, Sandra. Bye, Rita.
Bye-bye.